I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly.
The last topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is the lawsuit heard around the boxing world, TC's allegations, and Bob Arum's response. We're going to jump to an article by the New York Post. And this article has been out for a few days, but as you know, we only do this once a week. So here's the New York Post, and here's what the article says. It says the lawsuit filed in the 8th Judicial District Court in Nevada on Wednesday states Crawford shines a spotlight on the systemic racism that runs through Top Rank. Top Rank's complete inability to properly promote black fighters, and Top Rank Arum and his stepson Todd DeBuff's desperate treatment of black fighters, including Crawford. So briefly, I want to touch on desperate treatment and give you a quick rundown. Desperate treatment is something that on its face looks neutral, but when you break it down, it has a discriminating effect. So, for example, if I had a job and I said the job requirement is you have to be 5'11" and able to carry 40 pounds, right? On its face, it seems like, oh, that's fine. It's neutral. It's just neutral requirement. But when you break it down, that job eliminates a lot of women because on average, height for women isn't 5'11". It's the average height for men, and carrying 40 pounds, you know, can the average woman carry 40 pounds, right? And say it also may eliminate certain types of men who come from a background or race that may be shorter than 5'11", right? So it's going to have a desperate impact on certain types of people, although it seems like a neutral thing on its face, right? So the question becomes, is that height requirement really necessary, and is carrying 40 pounds really necessary for that? So that's the whole point. He's saying that Bob Arum creates an atmosphere that has a desperate impact on black fighters. So, all right, let's jump back into this article. All right, so for time constraints, we're going to run through some of what TC is alleging. Let's pull it up. All right, so they're saying that, for example, Bob Arum has launched a smear campaign against Terence Crawford, painting him as unexciting, unprofitable, and that he cannot draw viewers. And then it goes on to say, in truth, Top Rank, a company with 0 black executives and only 2 or 3 black employees, refuses to admit that it simply does not care about, support, or know how to promote black fighters. So one argument is that they don't have black execs. And it says recently, most businesses have become sensitive to the issues of race and social justice. Top Rank has not. And they cite this as a reason why. At a time when most businesses took steps to honor black lives in wake of George Floyd's murder, Top Rank actually refused to place the Black Lives Matter logo on the mats of its boxing rings. And it said, instead of standing behind a fighter such as Crawford, it publicly criticized him. Top Rank's current smear campaign is deliberately aimed at punishing Crawford for possibly leaving Top Rank by making it harder for him to sign with a new boxing promoter. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Let me just grab this one real quick. It says Crawford continues by claiming the suit, tellingly Arum has not subjected any white fighters to this kind of vicious, vengeful treatment. Clearly, Arum feels he is entitled to profit indefinitely off of Crawford and other black fighters, and he will retaliate when they dare to assert their independence. This gets into what he paid him. We already have things about that. So I'm just looking for Bob Arum's response real quick. And so here it says, Arum told the Post on Wednesday that the lawsuit is absurd. My whole career, I may have made mistakes, but one thing I cannot be accused of is being racist. I have promoted scores of top black boxers. We have promoted a number of pay-per-view fights for Terence, all of which have lost money, a lot of money. Then to claim we purposely and deliberately lost money because we are racist is nonsense. It is part of what is wrong with our culture. I am flabbergasted. If he believes that I didn't do a good job, he can plead in that suit, but don't call a man a racist when he really isn't. Because don't call a man a racist when this is really your own failures. The absurdity that I would choose to lose money close to 20 million because I was a racist makes absolutely no sense. I stand by my record. Crawford cost me and my company because he had guarantees that were very, very large based on his ability, but his marketability did not measure up to his ability, and that has absolutely nothing to do with what race he is. A lot depends on the willingness of a fighter to market himself. And if you even knew about all the times we pleaded with Crawford to do this program and that media opportunity, and he refused because he was concentrating on training or whatever. Throughout boxing history, the most marketable fighters have been, whether it was Ali or Foreman or many others, all of those guys knew how to sell themselves. As promoters, we can make opportunities, but the fighters have to sell themselves. They have to be media friendly. They have to promote themselves to be successful at the box office. There's a limit we can do. We have a huge social media team. We did all we could do on Crawford's fight with Porter, but all we did on pay-per-view was 135,000 homes, and that is not because of any racism on our part. Crawford's previous fights got less than 100,000. He simply doesn't sell. With Porter, we were hoping for at least 250,000 or even 400,000 views, but people weren't interested in buying it. We lost a barrel of money. Of Crawford's ambition to meet Spence in the ring, Arum revealed that it hasn't happened because both boxers are demanding 9 to 10 million to fight. It is untrue that we didn't work hard to secure that. It is very attractive fight. But Spence wants a lot of money for the fight, and so does Terence. And who is going to put up that money? 9 or 10 million apiece. And how are you going to make that money back? He added, the problem is mounting piracy on pay-per-view, but the outstanding fact is that Terence numbers on pay-per-view have been dreadful because of his failure to market himself. So those are some of what TC had to say, some of what Arum had to say. TC saying the man builds an environment that breeds racism, desperate treatment. His systems have a negative impact on black fighters. He's saying that even around the Black Lives Matter time, he refused to put Black Lives Matter in the ring. He doesn't have any black executives. He has no idea how to market black fighters. Arum saying what we've been saying, you're not selling, you want too much money, I've lost money on you. Trill Dollar Bill, what's your reaction to TC's allegations and Arum's response?
I stand on what I said before. I need more. Like I need more to say, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm TC, you have all the skill in the world. I just said you wasn't marketable. And you don't market yourself. And then we was talking about the numbers and stuff like that. That part is on you. You want to call out racism? Your little brother is still over there, and they're making a big fight trying to make a big fight with Oscar Valdez. Your little brother, Shakur Stevenson, is still over there. You know what I'm saying? I always said this about Top Rank.
Name? Kate Davis. I can't. Davis is over there.
And Dave Davis is over there. There's a ton of other kids.
Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Anderson's over there.
Big Baby's over there. You know, there's a lot of young. That's how I always said about Top Rank. That's the type of Top Rank can get you. They're the type to get you to a certain point, and then from there you got to go and do your own thing. That's what I always said about Top Rank. They're good at making you, you know what I'm saying, a star, or putting you in position to be a star. But then you have to take it, like Oscar De La Hoya, like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? They started off with these companies, and then they had to, you know, they got them the recognition, the names, the fights, and certain stuff. And then when they got to a certain level, they had to leave. That's what happens with Top Rank. Racism, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I done seen Top Rank lose money. And this is what it comes down to. Business, baby. It's just business. Like I did the numbers before. I was actually wrong. I said it was 130,000 pay-per-view buys, which came out to 9.1 million. But it was my brother's correcting me. It was 135K that he made, which still only comes to
you weren't incorrect, brother. You just put the wrong number. You just had the wrong number. You were correct for the number you used.
It was 9,450,000, right? That's what it comes out to, right? Still doesn't equal the amount of money. So Bob is right on what he's saying, that he's losing money. He has lost money. He's not throwing shade on him. He's not throwing shade on his name. He's speaking facts. He's saying, look, I done promoted your fights. I done did this, that, and the third. What more do you want? I done asked you to do certain media opportunities to help push your fights, help you get well known. You just said no. You know, I even tried to get you to Spence fight because you said you wanted the Spence fight, and live in front of everybody, you made me look stupid and said no, you wanted Pacquiao. This is all that we done. We seen that with our own eyes. Now we seen that this man, and with just seeing the numbers, he's not in the business. I said this a long time too. They're not, these promoters are not in the business of losing money. They want to make some money too. That's the business. As a promoter, you promote this fight, and hopefully you get some money too. These guys is losing money promoting him. That's all it is. It's business. And it just takes me off, because when real racism happens, but this right here, just to me, I'm just going to end it right here. To me, all it is business, baby. It's business. In TC, you're a great fighter, but you've been bad for business. Because all the people that admire your skills, a lot of them are not paying for your pay-per-views. They're watching your fight later, or they're watching the highlights, and they're commenting and saying how much they marvel at your talents, but they're not really buying your fights. And that's why Top Rank is losing money. And that's why you can't get the money that you want to fight certain people, because it's not there. Basically, what it comes to is down to business. That's how I say it.
Spirit G.
Yeah, I think both gentlemen are wrong on a couple of things. Now, I don't know if necessarily that TC is the one that has mentioned the BLM thing in the ring. You know, I don't know if that's his team.
No, it's his attorney, his team.
Oh, okay. But even still, I think Bob's gonna get around that so easy. Like, for example, several businesses chose not to talk about BLM because of the actual organization. You know, some people may look at it as a hashtag. Other people look at it as a political organization. And me personally, I heard 2 of the 3 founders say they believe in abolishing police. Top Rank can't afford to be aligned with an organization that says abolish police when they have to hire police for all their venues. You know, it just doesn't make sense, because then the police could say, we don't want to work at venues. Then what does Bob do? You know, so you're forcing people to join a political stance that they may not fully agree with. So I think that'll be easy for Top Rank to get that dismissed, whatever. However, with Bob messed up when he said, you know, it's your own failures, right? To TC, that makes no sense, because you're the promoter, right? Marketability, you are in charge of his marketability. And the difference between a Bob and an Eddie Hearn is Eddie's out there pushing his fighters, you know, like he's out there pushing AJ. He's out there pushing Dillian White. I don't see Bob doing that with his fighters, right? Now, go ahead, Joe. Both
of you. Go ahead, Joe.
Like we said, TC, we done heard this plenty of times before. Mm-hmm. TC refuses to do certain media obligational stuff. Mm-hmm. He said he doesn't want to do it. Yes, Eddie Hearn, we see Eddie Hearn going hard and talking hard for his fighters. We even heard Bob talking crazy about Crawford, telling he can beat 2 guys in the same night. He went hard for Crawford, but it's only so much.
And they put the mic in Crawford's face, and he undid all the hype job that.
No, hold on. I hope I'm not misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying TC's doing a great job at promoting himself.
Hold on.
I'm saying, so
I had my crooked finger up too. I'm giving the floor back to you, brother. But AJ promotes himself. Canelo Alvarez promotes himself. I seen Canelo Alvarez doing a promotion the other day on a Spanish network where he's doing VR, fighting on VR, and they're watching him. And all these guys promote themselves. I vividly recall an interview. This is live TV on like a sports show. TC showed up and was playing video games, doing the interview, looking at the TV. You're laughing. That's ignorant. It's I want to say he's sitting there looking and they're talking to him, and he just seems more into the game than interviewing. And they shut down the interview super quick. Now, that's Bob's fault?
No, but what I'm saying is a promoter, right? His job is to market the fighter and the fights, and the entire event. So, and this is where I'm like, the only argument I could see TC having is the fact that he said there's no black executives, because then the argument could be they don't know how to market African American fighters, and so
it seems like that he did say that. That seems like that's
the only thing where I'm like, I could kind of see where TC's going at. But again, that's going to be difficult to prove racism. But nonetheless, a company like Top Rank should have black executives, especially seeing all the black fighters that they do have, right? Because I don't know, I gotta look this up, but I need to know if they have any Latino executives, right? Because I'm pretty sure if you want to get into that the Latin market, you might want to have some executives to show you the ropes, And so if you're going to do that for that market, you might want to do the same thing for the black market, right? So maybe they just don't know how to promote TC the right way. So you might need some assistance, right? You might want to reach out to some black executives. Who knows? I'm not saying it has to be that way, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. Because, on the other side, PBC does a good job marketing their black athletes, right? Their black fighters. So it's just something to consider. But that's the only argument that I can see as of right now for TC. Go ahead.
You just brought up PBC. Great point. What if, using your argument, I say they only know how to market black fighters? I've seen PBC take a guy like Jose Cito Lopez and feed him to everyone so that he can get beat up on, but they never really put him in a fight where I feel like he had a fair chance to win. I seen them take what's his name, the other guy, Adrian Granados, feed him to a bunch of black fighters, right? And I never really thought he had a chance to win. And they never, he's making money, but they're making this guy fight at 140, buff him up, bring him 147, buff him up, let him fight at 154. I could keep going. There's numerous fighters like that with PBC. Even if you look at PBC, they made Leo Santa Cruz go up and wait to fight Tank and get slaughtered, right? And then they just fed Barrios. So like what? So then Mexican fighters should just all, because they agree to sign a PBC now. All the Mexican fighters now should just make a lawsuit against PBC and say that they're racist against Hispanic fighters, right? Using that logic.
If they could prove it, I'm not too sure if they can make the argument about Hispanic fighters, but maybe Mexican fighters. I think PBC did pretty good with Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying?
Danny Garcia, again, lost to the black fighters. You see what I mean? Sometimes it just is.
He was the same guy who said when he was signed to Golden Boy refused to promote well for Puerto Rican fighters. They did everything they can for Mexican fighters. That's why he left Golden Boy for PBC.
I know you're not saying you agree with it. I'm just bringing up points. Like,
I understand.
I know like that's not your argument. I'm just saying like to bring home the point that this is happening across the board everywhere.
Exactly. So pretty much what I'm saying is essentially it's difficult to prove anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, PBC can say, well, we make these Mexican fighters millions of dollars. So I'm like, they're giving you the bag. So it is what it is. Unless you're like, oh, well, you should give me easier fights. Which I don't know what judge is going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it just, again.
You signed that fight? Did you agree to that fight?
That's what I'm saying. TC, good luck. But I will say this. After reading this, I understand why my man's suing. Because, oh, man, listen. And with the previous segment that we had about the 135K pay-per-view buys, it's looking like my man's just not marketable, right? And so now you try to go to PBC, they hit you with low numbers. And he was like, "Yo, but at ESPN, I was making this." I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds cute, but bro, look at Bob.
Look at these numbers.
We see your Sean Porter numbers, dog. We see
So I feel bad for TC, man, but I think this is the only thing that he could do to at least, try to recruit some form of money, because it's looking like his career is on a slippery slope, and it shouldn't be like that. But again, my man struggles to promote himself. He doesn't generate the numbers that he should. And now he's a free agent, so he's not backed by a powerhouse like Bob Arum and Top Rank. So I don't know what he could do to really garner the type of money that he was making before. The only way is if he gets the big name fights like the Spence fight. But again, it's looking like the Spence fight, there's no money in it. So at least unless TC takes a pay cut, then he gets that fight, and then he shocks the world and proves like, yeah, I'm the best welterweight. And he I don't know if let's say he knocks out Spence, then he's back. But as of right now, it seems like both parties don't even want to entertain this fight because they're like, oh, there's no money in it. So then it's like, who can TC fight that will garner money? And so it's real difficult for TC. So I think he's desperate right now. So he's like, yo, you know what? I'm just going to sue Bob, because what other options does he have?
Sounds like you're saying 60-40 was a damn good offer from Earl Spence.
Oh no, big fact. I'm, me, man. I've been admitted that. So.
I'm not saying that you're saying. I'm just TVE.
Man, it's just crazy at this point, man. It just for me, I always feel like this right here, all this going on with TC and Bob Arum is unnecessary. Even now that they split, it's too much going on. And TC, you making all these allegations. You're saying they didn't want to put BLM, and it's very controversial when you're too when there's so much politics involved. But for me, TC is not marketable at all, and he's 34 years old. He's missed out on so many opportunities. He's you're not really active when you're on social media. You're not really active. You'll post a tweet, you'll say something, and it's very blunt, or it's nothing like entertaining. And also, TC, it's like you're not charismatic as these other fighters. I don't know, you just don't got it, bro. You don't got it. You got the skills.
Yo, he is when he's just kicking it.
Yeah,
when he's just kicking it, he is. That's the crazy thing. He has all the tools. He just don't use.
You don't show it when it's time. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it's just, what else do you want from the man? Like, honestly, when we looked at the numbers, it's just like, damn. After all of that, and this is what you brought back to. This is what they didn't even get a return on you. You was a failed investment. Like, you should be real humbled at this moment. You shouldn't be out here adding more fight. You're looking like a red flag to everybody else. I don't know who would want to touch you with a 10-foot pole now when you're doing all of this and you're not even marketable. You're not even lucrative right now for big fights. Like Spence offered you 60-40, and you turned around and said you wanted 60, he gets 40. You're not taking less than whatever. You want the big portion of the cut. And you're honestly, you're not worth it. You're not worth it. And I wanted to see it, but after I just looked at the numbers earlier when we was arguing and everything. Saw the numbers. I was like, the audacity of this man, like, these guys believed in you. ESPN believed in you, and you turned around and robbed them. That is insane. But
it's hilarious though, because when you're saying it, it's like, wow,
yeah.
Like, and you re-signed to the bigot.
Yeah.
You forget you re-signed to the bigot, and if anything, you should be suing Bob for making you delusional.
Hey, true. He re-signed to the guy he's alleging is a bigot over the place that had black executives everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You re-signed with the guy that just called him a bigot. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you should be suing Bob for making you delusional, making you think that you was worth more.
What do you want?
Making jokes. I agree with Trill on this one, man. It's like, yo, good luck, TC, bro. Good luck with that court case, yo.
Cheers, man. At the end of the day, this is just too much, yo. TC, you really need to, humble yourself, because what you're doing right now is really over the top. And like I said earlier, numbers lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie, man. Numbers you provided for ESPN is ridiculous, man. They should have dropped you like a bad habit.
He dropped them. And it seems like he may be having some regrets. My man New Year, New G has to dip out. So
All right, G, you take care.
Peace out to G, homie.
Hold on, wait a minute. How can I do that though?
Oh man,
it's cool. Let's just rock out. Go ahead, Kaden. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, hey, look, I'll try to make this as quick as I can, but shoot, not feel like I'm under the gun. All right, look, how I say this? Look, respectfully, if you're not from the USA, like, how can you speak on racism from the USA? And I'm just saying that because I hear like a lot of channels talking about the USA and racism in the USA. Yeah, that's cool, but it's not everything isn't racism, and it's not like everything that happens is racism. And so you have to make it about what it actually is. And so when he says it's from desperate treatment, right? He's saying that their policies and the way that they do things creates an atmosphere where black fighters can't be successful. You know, it may seem neutral on its face, but when you break down their policies, it really has disparate impact on black fighters and Hispanic fighters based on what he said, because he's saying people of color and black fighters, right? The only issue with that is I've watched Bob Arum make Oscar De La Hoya a superstar, make Floyd Mayweather a superstar, make Miguel Cotto a superstar, make Manny Pacquiao, make TC #1 pound for pound on ESPN rankings. He did that. ESPN was fighting. You can't name no one that TC beat without going to Google and BoxRec. Okay, and even if you can name the people they beat, you can't name me 2 people that the people that TC beat actually beat. You can't do it. You can't name to me the people that TC beat that are still active right now. Stop it, man. Stop it. Y'all sitting here. Bob Arum got that guy ranked #1 by ESPN. Every time ESPN talk, I see Kriegel, or not Kriegel, whatever. Maybe it is Kriegel. I don't know. I see all the ESPN shields bigging up Crawford. Bigging up Crawford. All they do is eat the Crawford sandwich. Crawford could beat Ray Robinson. Oh, Crawford, the PBC guys are running. Oh, Crawford. That's all I see stuff. Max Kellerman. Crawford. ESPN got Crawford on a 24-hour cycle. Trying to promote him. You know who I don't see promoting Crawford? Crawford. Facts. I see everyone promoting Crawford. I watch the late night show. I don't see Crawford. I watch all the sports shows. I don't see Crawford. Don't see Crawford at all. Every time I see Bob Arum, though, he's mentioning Crawford. He's saying Crawford is the best. He's saying Crawford would beat Spence. He's saying that Spence is running. Y'all are so delusional. You don't realize the only reason you're riding Crawford's sack is because of Arum. He made you think he's #1 pound for pound. He made you think that Spence was running from TC. Spence was running from TC. He made you think all those things. He's the one. And now that this is happening, he's telling you the truth. You know why the fight's not happening? You want to know why the fight's not happening? Spence won $10 million. He won $10 million. Where the hell's the money to pay for that? That's the real reason why the fight didn't happen. Wasn't no Spence running. Crawford doesn't generate, and Spence can do business with his own fighters on PBC that is profitable, as opposed to making a big fight that that's not gonna generate any money for PBC. It's not gonna generate any money for ESPN, but we get the fight we want. But at the end of the day, it's the fight business, not fighting. So that's one thing. Now let's talk about this real quick. He said they don't have any black executives. That's fine. But now you have to show that there were black executives that were qualified for the position, or more qualified than the executives that they hired in the position, and they didn't get the job strictly because of their race. Do you understand that now? Let me break it back, slow it down, and rewind it for you real quick. He has to prove, one, there were black executives that were qualified for the job, and two, that the person who was hired over them wasn't more qualified than them, right? And then three, they have to show that the reason why they didn't get the job would have been because of their race.
A lot of these record labels would be out of business if that was the case.
So all I'm trying to say to you is all these things sound good. What does Black Lives Matter being in a ring have to do with Terence Crawford? What in the bleeping world does it have to do? Let me ask you a question. Is it not possible that Bob Arum did right by TC and decided the Black Lives Matter movement is something I don't want in my ring because, as G pointed out, it stands for more than just supporting Black lives. It means defunding police. They also have other agendas that they loop into Black Lives Matter that maybe you should look it up so you can understand it's not really just about Black lives. They push a lot of other things within that organization. And so to not put a Black Lives Matter stamp in your ring doesn't mean you don't support Black lives. Hell, I got a track record of history. I got a team of young lawyers of color that are coming up that I'm telling you, it's a dream team right now. I don't drive around with a Black Lives Matter sticker in my car. I don't walk around with a Black Lives Matter sticker on my chest, but everything I do in my life is to support Black lives. Because I'm speaking the truth about a situation with TC right now, does that mean I'm not a part of the movement? Does that mean I don't live my life every day as a Black man? I read somewhere in the comment section that there are no lawyers on the screen. Hi. Hello. When I walk into the courtroom every day, judges, lawyers, people see me, a Black man, in a position that they must respect. I don't deviate from that. At the same time, when you're in that position, you have a responsibility to be impartial. When you're a judge, you have a responsibility to be impartial. You have to look at this situation from a neutral standpoint. And G, I know you got to go, so I'm just wrapping up like this, but I have more, but I want to get my man G.
Keep flowing, go ahead.
No, that's right. Was TC underpaid? The answer is a hell no. He had very large guaranteed purses. Bob Arum said it. Is that true or false? True. But Bob Arum took losses on that purses because TC was not a draw. Is that true or false? True. Bob Arum couldn't make the fight with Earl Spence because TC wanted more money. You hear him in the video saying he wanted more money. Is that true or false? True. Like, you gotta, when you want to sit there and you want to get a guy for racism and you want to do this, that's all fine and dandy, but it has to match up. Like I told you before, Donald Sterling, racist. John Gruden, racist emails, homophobic emails, misogynistic emails. Get him. Tesla, a hostile workplace environment. Do y'all know what happened in Tesla? Here's what happened. It was a Black employee and people were telling him, go back to Africa. They would say statements to him based on his race. He reported it. They did nothing. That's a racist work environment. That's what it is. That's the smoking gun I'm telling you about. Where is that for TC? Donald Sterling, Scott saying these things on audio. You can't take every racist thing that's happened in society and then say Bob Arum's mistreating me because of the color of my skin. I can't mention Emmett Till and then be like, because of what America did to Emmett Till, that's why Bob Arum's racist. What are you doing? Racism exists, but it doesn't make everything racist. You understand? And when you sit there and try to make everything about racism, you sit here and try to tie in every racist thing happening in society and then slap in TC situation to try to make it seem like it's the same thing, but it's not. People dying because of gun violence isn't TC. George Floyd dying because a cop kneeled on his neck for I think like 8 minutes and 20 seconds Has nothing to do with TC not getting the fights that he wants. Get the hell out of here. It's actually disrespect to the community when you do that crap. Police shooting unarmed black people, and you trying to lump that in with TC not getting the purse he wants. Not getting the patches he wants in a ring. Still got the highest guaranteed money of anyone else in his division, though. Still ranked pound for pound over every other welterweight in the world. That's what Bob Arum controls. He can't make people like you. Bob can't make people like you. People have to like you. And most people don't care about you, and that's the fact. If you remove TC from boxing today, I wouldn't give a damn. In fact, I'd be relieved because finally that belt can actually go to someone who's going to unify. Humble thyself, because you done burned bridges with Bob. You done burnt all these bridges, and now nobody wants to sign you. And just to rewind the tapes, I said that would happen. Remember I said, well, what's going to happen when he goes, oh, people were like, oh, he's going to sign with Eddie Hearn. He's going to sign this. Nah, bro. Not with the money he was making. He would have been better off going back to Bob saying, what's your plan? Let's do this. Let's restructure. Please just get me that fight. The truth of the matter is TC's never going to make the money he thinks he deserves until he fights Earl Spence and beats Earl Spence and becomes undisputed. And if he never does that, he's going to be that same guy running around here mad, talking about what I could have been. I'm going to end it like this. Still, based on what I heard, it's going to be a very difficult uphill battle for TC to prove disparate treatment, for him to prove disparate treatment, and to prove that Bob Arum made decisions about his career based on racial bias. Because like Bob Arum said, why would I intentionally lose over $20 million because I'm racist?
Yeah, it was some good boxing talk today, man. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. That's still New Year, New G. That's Happy TBE. Happy birthday to the TBE. That's my brother, Caden. I'm the People's Champ, the Commissioner. And we are the Boxing Bros. Thank you for rocking with us once again.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.